Hey guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel. I'm sitting outside. Duke's right there, having some water. I recently got the question, what are some of my favorite writing podcasts? Because a lot of y'all know I love podcasts and obviously writing. So it seems like a natural question. And I posted about how I recently started listening to the right type. So I figured I would just talk over some of my favorite new things from this month. Writing podcasts, Authortubers, TV shows, hummingbirds. Just throw some recommendations your way, and then you can also please comment down below and give me some recommendations for what kind of media you've been consuming recently and what you've been loving. And yeah, so let's go ahead and start with The Right Type. I listen to it on Spotify. It's really interesting for me because Farida is based in the UK, and so it's like an entirely different book world over there in a lot of ways, and it's really fun to hear. Oh, hello birds. And it's really fun to hear and learn about the differences in the publishing world there than over in the US, especially because we often have such a US-centric view of things. And as someone who wants to be a hybrid author, so both traditionally published and indie published, I think it's always good to learn more about different locations as someone who might want to branch into that market at some point. So obviously Farida is talking about the trad pub world. I think she has a deal for a young adult book and it should be coming out like I actually really loved the episode with Lizelle. One of our AuthorTube buddies, Lizelle Sambury, was on the podcast. And that was really fun. Let me see what episode that was. Publishers and imprints. It really highlighted the differences between the UK and the US, which was really cool, and Canada, because Lizelle's from Canada. I also really loved the episode Fact versus Fiction, where her and Adiba, who is often on the podcast, kind of went over different stereotypes associated with writers in different forms of media, just all the ways that they get the publishing world wrong. So I've been binging The Right Type, but I also really recommend the Creative Pen podcast. That is a longtime favorite of mine. I'm actually a patron of Joanna's over on Patreon, and I just really enjoy her stuff from the indie perspective. There's also the self-publishing formula, and they often partner up with Joanna or have each other on their shows. Both are really good. I've also really been into the Write or Die podcast, which Kat Cho, another person on AuthorTube, helps to co-host alongside Claribel Ortega, whose middle grade book I'm actually really excited for. They are clearly friends outside of the podcast. I think they've been friends for a really long time and are critique partners for each other and stuff. So the dynamic that they have is really great to listen to anyways. It feels like you're at a table with writer friends and you're just chatting and whatever. So it's a good vibe. And that's really helpful from the trad pub world. One that I love that has not been updated in forever, and I think it's like on a semi-permanent hold, just going through my podcast. Oh, the Publishing Crawl podcast. I used to love this podcast. I still super recommend the backlist, and I will re-listen to the episodes as I've like kind of progressed in my own career and as things become more relevant to me. Love it. And then I also really like the Lackadaisical Writer. I actually know Sherelle, the host, from like almost a different life. Back when I was in college, she was the ML for our region, for our NaNoWriMo group. And I really love the perspective of the indie author journey, hearing it from her, because it's a lot more realistic, I find, than like the self-publishing formula where you have Mark Dawson who's sold like millions of dollars of books and stuff like that. So yes, the Lackadaisical Writer. I will link all of these down below. So highly recommend. Other favorites. Non-writing podcast that I just started listening to is Two Black Girls, One Rose. It was about The Bachelor and like kind of going over all of that, and for a long time I've only browsed Reddit for my Bachelor fix and I haven't stuck with the show, but listening to them talk about it is so much fun. They also cover Insecure, which is another show that I've gotten back into this past month, so I'm loving it. It's great. But speaking of shows, because time is so confusing, I don't know if I finished it this month technically, but I finally got to see Avatar: The Last Airbender that everyone talks about, and it lived up to the hype. Loved it so much. Also currently watching the new season of My Hero Academia, the one that just got dubbed. My brother is trying to convince me to watch Hunter x Hunter, so if y'all have seen that or you have any good anime you want to recommend, comment down below, let me know. I did finish the first manga of Attack on Titan, and I think I'm going to try the anime of that soon too. Yes. For YouTubers that I would recommend, I have recently gotten into watching like creative content that I have no skills in. Does that make sense? So I've been watching this art channel, Ergo Josh, and kind of binging his content, which is really fun. He also has a voice that I wish he did audiobooks or like a podcast stuff that I could just put on in the background. Amazing. Oh, I should, because I just pulled up YouTube. I should also say Simply Podlogical Huge fan of. I am thinking for my birthday I'm gonna get myself some Hollow Taco nail polish. Simply Nailogical, Simply Podlogical. Yes. Oh, and I switched account so I could go to my Authortube one, and look, it's Lizelle's 1 year Authortube anniversary. Authortube anniversary. That's awesome. Okay, so anyways, for Authortubers that I would recommend that I just recently found because I'm behind on everything, SimKern, they're great. They do both booktube and Authortube stuff, and I really appreciate the way they found to do kind of half and half. I sometimes wish that my content was a little bit more booktube, so I really admire them for that. They also created the NB Authortube tag and the NB booktube tag. Now I'm just going through my stuff. Steph's Romance Book Talk. If you like romance, and I know booktube's kind of weird about romance sometimes, but I definitely recommend Steph. Just scrolling. Oh, okay. So Cachet Warren, I know Becca just did a live stream with her, and she hosts these 10K Sunday challenges, which I want to attempt. So I think I'm gonna do my first one with her. I haven't done a 10K in I think over a year or something, so I'm really excited about that. For specific videos, and because I also just finished Avatar: The Last Airbender. If y'all have been watching this channel for a while, you would know that I am a huge fan of Evelyn from the internets. I don't know that you can see that. Evelyn. So she lives in Austin, which isn't relevant except that she makes jokes about Texas sometimes, and I'm like, yes, but her video, America is the Fire Nation, just so good. I think my favorite video of the month that I've watched. As for books, I'm finally getting back into the second Mistborn book, The Well of Ascension, so I'm really excited for that. And then, excuse me, phone, where are you? On my Libby app, I'm pumped. So Jessica and I announced this in our Authortube chat. The 5th season, that is our next Authortube chat book club pick. So I'm so excited. I am so close. It is almost my turn. Also, since we've announced it and since I did that I Tried Writing Like N.K. Jemisin video, so many people have been telling me that it's like their favorite series of all time. Plus, I know that there's some second person usage in this book, and just the way that N.K. Jemisin, she does a lot of like experimental type writing, and it's just so cool. And she won the Hugo for this. Every single book in this series won the Hugo. She's the first person to ever do that. I'm so pumped. And there's a whole topic on like, are the best books the ones that get the awards and stuff like that. But in the case of this one, I think it really is gonna be phenomenal. I'm so excited. Anyways, that has been some of my favorite stuff this month. Besides, of course, my little puppy dog. Oh, you getting it? Oh, you getting it? But please do comment down below. Let me know what writing podcasts you like to listen to. Let me know if you found any new Authortubers or YouTubers. Let me know what sort of YouTube videos you like to watch that aren't Authortube related. And just generally, you know, music, books, TV shows, movies. What have you been up to? What are you enjoying? Yes, but that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you especially to some of my new patrons this month. Olivia Ivanov, Luke Roberts, Danny Callahan, Anna, Yali C, and Juniper Woodbury, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Bye. Hey Duke, what's been your favorite thing this month, huh? He likes the rain today. And otherwise, just give you some things that if you want to also consume them like I do. What?